little fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. We're on weekdays, 11:45 Eastern. Follow us on Spreaker.com and click on the like button. This piece is from the Gatestone Institute. It's known as a month in multicultural Britain, but I consider that it's far more sinister. The fact that you have to go to these lengths, not just in the UK, but nearly in every country to get the facts out, should tell you its own story. No one should, in all honesty, deny that there's a link, a pattern to all this. It's not by accident or coincidence that this has happened. You will hear in one of the comments that I'm going to read out, a British military spokesman denigrate and belittle a British citizen as nothing more than a right-wing activist. And that's just one bit. Perhaps if the pathetic left-wing PC person had bothered to do any background research, they would have discovered why that person holds such strong views. And more to the point, if he had read up, like, say, said person had obviously done on the subject, he would understand this person's feelings. It's just a crying shame that the British military, of all organisations, can't see what's occurring in the UK. Now, I can't comment in specific terms for obvious reason because there's no free speech in Canada, but I think you'll get the gist of what I'm talking about. Here's just part of the piece. There were 140 new cases of female genital mutilation, that's FGM, in Birmingham between April and June 2018. There remains a huge problem with professionals viewing forced marriage as a cultural issue rather than a crime. Many aren't even aware there is a law. I apologise for this because I don't speak foreign languages, but Jasvinder Sajira attacking the government's failure to tackle the problem of forced marriages. The Ministry of Justice blocked plans for an academy study into why prisoners convert to Islam and how it can lead to radicalisation. They will have been concerned about what this proposed project will discover, a source said. Now I'm going to read clips now from headlines for each day of the month of October 2018. October 1st, so-called cutters are being flown into Britain to perform FGM on young girls, according to the Independent newspaper. The practicing community talked together saying, "My girl needs to be cut and pay cutters to come into the UK and cut girls here," said Hoda Ali, an FGM activist who works in West London. October 2. Women and girls are coerced into marriage by their families will be allowed to give evidence in secret so they can object to foreign spouses' visas without fear of repercussions. October 3. Sakira Mohammed, a 21-year-old drug dealer in Aston, Birmingham, was sentenced to 14 years in prison for admitting charges of modern slavery. Mohammed groomed his victims, a 14-year-old girl and 2 runaway 15-year-old boys, before making them sell Class A drugs from a squalid flat 100 miles from their home. October 4. Rahman Ullah, a 38-year-old father of 2 from Croydon, was sentenced to 14 months in prison for beating his estranged wife and live-streaming the battering to relatives in Pakistan. Ullah, wielding a kitchen knife, made stabbing motions at his wife and boasted to his relatives, "I'm gonna kill her today." October 5. 10 baby girls, all of whom were less than a year old, underwent FGM in Birmingham, April and June of 2018, according to the Birmingham Mail, citing official statistics. The data also revealed that 15 children aged between 1 and 4 were also reported as FGM victims. In total, there were 140 new cases in the city. October 6. A report from the Equity and Human Rights Commission, that's EHRC, found that 1/3, 33% of British people surveyed believed that efforts to provide equal opportunities to Muslim immigrants had gone too far. October 7. The outgoing head, Karma Nirvana, a charity that supports victims of honour-based abuse, launched a scathing attack on the government's failure to tackle forced marriage. She said she feels let down by the lack of leadership and warned that more children would suffer as a result. October 8. A leaked letter showed that Home Secretary Sajid Javid agreed to hand evidence on 2 British jihads to American authorities for federal prosecution, but without assurances that the death penalty would not be used. October 9. Teachers should look out for girls who have difficulty walking, sitting and standing, or request to be excused from physical education lessons, according to a new guide on spotting the signs of FGM. October 10. The British Army launched an investigation after an anti-Islamisation activist known as Tommy Robinson posted a photo of himself with a group of young soldiers. The photo appeared to have been taken at a highway rest stop, and Robinson had described the group as young recruits. Robinson wrote on Facebook, "A moment like this makes it all worthwhile," he said. "Today I met real British heroes." An army spokeswoman said far-right ideology is completely at odds with the values and ethos of the armed forces. October 11. The major retailer Marks & Spencer's sparked a row after including hijabs, that's head coverings, worn by some Muslim women in its school uniform selection. The company's social media pages were flooded with angry messages, and dozens of disgruntled customers said they would not use the store until the black headscarves were removed from stock. The founder of the Quilliam Foundation, Majid Narwiz, said that M&S had reverted to medievalism by including a child-size hijab in the schoolwear category. October 13. A 29-year-old Somali whose deportation from Britain was halted after airline passengers staged a mutiny and demanded his release was exposed as a convicted gang rapist being deported because of this crime. Officials escorting, Yaqub Ahmed on the flight from Heathrow to Turkey on October 9 were forced to abandon his deportation when around a dozen holidaymakers who felt sorry for him angrily intervened shortly before takeoff. At one stage, a traveller complained they were separating him from his family while others chanted, "Take him off the plane." It later emerged that Ahmed and 3 other youths had gang raped a 16-year-old in London's Leicester Square in August 2007. Well, that's part 1. Next time we will have more exciting facts, including using ecstasy to allow rape, blocking plans to study Islam, halal on hold, a discrimination case with a difference, a cleric questioned over past rapes, a school teaching lies about Noah's Ark, and more. Join us for part 2, and we'll have something a little different to end with that I hope will make you think. That's next time. You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab and email. You can now find us on Spotify. Just go to the podcast section and type Canadian Politics with a Twist and you'll find us. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments at Spreaker.com under A Radio, that's EHRADIO, A Radio, and please click on the like button. And you can find all my podcasts and morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com and click on the Morning Moments tab.